The first thing I want to say from the Revelation podcast is Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope this day finds you blessed and well in the Lord. I know that this day may be difficult, especially those who are still single or maybe has gone through a broken relationship like a divorce. I believe that this message today can touch your heart. It will remind us that there's one person that truly cares about us, and that is the Father. With this short message, I will share on why and how the Father cares about us. You know, in the Lord's Prayer, the first two words are our Father. Those words are very powerful and they're very encouraging to us. And we will look into the Word to see that so that we know that the Father cares for us. I'm back for podcast number 2 for 2022. It's kind of hard to say this year because there are 3 twos and it feels like I'm not saying it right. So again, we are in the year of 2022. And some have been struggling already. They've been facing all kinds of battles. They've been facing COVID, job, or some sort of financial struggle. And they're wondering if all these things will come to an end. And yes, they will come to an end. That means we are out of a struggle. And later on, there will be another struggle. And still, I believe that we can have the best year of our lives. You know, God is so good to us. He's the one that gives us true peace. He's our provider. And He knows what we're going through. You know, when we have problems, we are taught to go to the council, talk to your local House of Representative, or maybe send an email to the President of the United States. Now, how many of you guys have tried those things? And did you guys get any answers at all? Probably not. You feel like you're talking to a wall and no one listens to you. You know, one of my favorite passages in the Bible is Matthew chapter 6. And in Matthew chapter 6 is where Jesus teaches the crowd the Lord's Prayer. And it's such a wonderful prayer. And I think that we recite it so much that we don't slow down enough to understand what it means. And maybe in a future podcast, we'll go through that. But for today, we're going to be looking at something else, and I'm going to get you there. And yet, I won't slow down enough and just look at the first 2 words of the Lord's Prayer. That's very easy. It's our Father. Those words right there touch my heart, and they should touch your heart. To see that, you know, a child that's loved by their parent, a child that is 2 or 3 will say, "Hey, Father," or let's say, "Hey, Daddy." Whenever that child says, "Hey, Daddy," I truly believe that it touches the parent's heart. And it touches them enough to stop whatever they are doing and give the child its attention. And that's what the Father does when we just say, "Our Father," or "Hey, Dad." He is sitting at the throne, the Father. And the Son is praying for us daily. We have the Holy Spirit to guide us. And in the upper room, John chapter 16, Jesus said that Spirit of truth will remind them of all the things that he has taught, and he will guide them. All the things that the Father has given to him are his, and he's given to us by the Spirit. And yet just Jesus saying, or us just saying, hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. God just stops all that he is doing and he listens to us. He takes time to listen to us. In John chapter 11, when Jesus was going to raise Lazarus from the dead, God the Son took time to feel what the crowd was feeling, and they were very sad. And Jesus himself even cried. He loved Lazarus, and they loved Lazarus, and he loves us too. So when we say, hey, Dad, he's got our attention. The Revelation Podcast is also over at Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Over at Spotify, it is the Revelation Podcast. Over at YouTube, it is the Patmos channel. And over at Rumble, it is Patmos Island. The Revelation Podcast is also over at WordPress.com. TRP, the Revelation Podcast.wordpress.com.